Everybody says that they're really glad they opted into the world's laziest networker, and I'm glad you opted in too. Would it be okay if I told you why people say they're happy they opted in? Well, it's because they discover very quickly some key, very short, quick little tips that help them in several situations. Let's face it, you're in network marketing and you know that nobody's ever going to come up to you and say, "So, Steve," or "So, Sally, have you opened any new businesses you want to tell me about?" If the business is going to come up, we have to bring it up. But most people are totally unaware of how to bring up the business. They get lots and lots of rejection. Now, this is the first video in a series of about 10 videos that you'll get over the next month. And this one's going to be about 4 or 5 minutes. The rest of them are much shorter than that, and they deal with individual situations that we all face in network marketing. Calling people that you've called before about other deals, what to say when you run into somebody at a soccer game, how to work internet leads. So there'll be one solid tip, something that you can use and instantly get the result you want, which is a yes. Now, I guess the best way to tell this story is to turn the clock back a little bit when I was struggling in network marketing. And basically somebody put a question in front of me that changed my life, and I'd like to share that with you. What he said was, and I was really struggling, I couldn't sponsor anybody, and the more I talked, the more people ran away from me. Instead of being a magnet, I was kind of like a reverse magnet. It was like I had the bubonic plague. And he said, and I was distraught, and he said, "Listen, let's sit down and talk. Are you willing to forget everything you ever learned about network marketing?" And I said, yes. I was on the verge of tears, raising 2 kids by myself, worried about rent, and was just at my wit's end. And he said, "Well, I want you to imagine a situation. A woman named Nancy who's cashing big checks, and someone named Al who's not cashing any checks at all. And they have great hygiene. They live in the same town. They were sponsored on the same day into the same company. They have the same product, right? They are working the same compensation plan. They're going to the same meetings. They have the same upline. They have the same sponsor. Everything is the same. Come from the same socioeconomic background. If Nancy's cashing huge checks and Al's not cashing any checks at all, what do you think the difference is?" And I said 3 words that changed my destiny. They were, "I don't know." And he said, "Great, you're going to be able to make a lot of money." I said, "How?" He said, "Well, the difference between Al and Nancy is skills. Nancy simply says and does something different than Al." Look at it this way. Let's say you're a plumber and you want to become a landscaper. Well, you would know that when you changed occupations, you'd need to learn some different skills to be effective as a landscaper. Yet we join a network marketing organization and it never occurs to us that we need to learn some different skills. So what we're going to do is talk about the number one skill, because I'll be candid with you. If I was starting all over again in network marketing, the first thing I would teach my people is what I teach them today. You're going to have to talk to people. They're not going to bring the business up. You have to bring the business up. But you need to do it in a way so that they're leaning forward and they're ready to buy and they're ready to join. And it has to meet 3 criteria. Because if it doesn't meet these 3 criteria, new people aren't going to want to use it. Number 1, it's got to be rejection free. And this is really twofold. Not only does it have to be rejection free, but you have to be able to bring the business up to people over and over and over again without them knowing you're bringing up the business. So rule 1 is rejection free. Rule 2 is simple. It can't embarrass or pressure a prospect, because that's just bad manners, and nobody wants to join a business where they have to use bad manners to build it. And the third criteria is it has to have a high probability of the prospect saying, "What do you mean?" or "Oh, really? How does that work?" So in this, we're going to give you one tip right now, and these tips really break down into 2 categories. One category is when you're talking to people on the phone, And the other category is when you're face to face with people. So let me give you one tip now so you can see the difference. We've all had this experience. We've been out in a restaurant, or we've been in a appliance store where there's been a helpful clerk, and we want to bring the business up. And what do we usually say? We're expanding our business worldwide, and we're in several countries, and we have a product that's going to save the world and save the whales. You've got to take a look at this thing. You'll make lots of money. And of course, their sales filter goes up, and they say, next, please. I think the best way to tell this is, let's say you and I went into a restaurant, and you can try this out yourself tomorrow. We're in a restaurant. We're at separate booths. You order burgers, fries, and a Coke. And I'm 4 booths down, and I order burger, fries, and a Coke. We're with the same company. And the waitress comes over once you've finished your meal, and she says, will there be anything else? And you say, yes, I'm looking for an entrepreneurial type. I'm with the wonderful company from the wonderful city of the wonderful state of Utah. And the owners are wonderful, and they don't kick dogs, and they go to church every Sunday, and they have wonderful charities. And she thinks, of course, oh my gosh, she's joined a cult. So what happens is they tell you they're not interested, they have other parties. You go out to the parking lot and you say, what a poor and miserable business. And you buy the biggest lie in network marketing, which is you just have to find the right people. We'll talk about that in a minute. But she comes to my booth and she says, hey, will there be anything else? And I'll say, well, yeah, I had a question for you. Are you married to your job, or are you open-minded? And she's thinking, I don't want to be a waitress here at Denny's my whole life. Well, yeah, I'm open. Why? What's this all about? And of course, then you have several options, which we'll discuss in later tips. I get out to the car and I say, what a poor and miserable business. I can't even go out for a fries, burger, and a Coke without people bothering me and begging me for a presentation. Because I can guarantee you the waitress is going to be saying, well, what's it all about? How can I get some information? What was the difference? 11 and a half words. Here's the point. Everybody you know wants more money, they want to pay less taxes, and of course, they'd like more time with the people that they care about. So if everybody wants those things, how come they say no? It's skills. It's simply about what we do and what we say. So the format is, we're going to give you 9 more videos. They'll be much shorter than this one. We wanted to kind of set the format for you, and I hope you enjoy them. Each one deals with a specific situation that'll help you get the prospect leaning forward, ready to buy and ready to join, and they're rejection free. So remember, it's real simple. Next time you're out in public, try this. Are you married to your job, or are you open-minded? Because if they just ignore you, have they rejected you, the business, or the company? Absolutely not. Enjoy the next 9 tips. You're going to love them, and you'll be able to bring the business up to the same people over and over and over again.